We left our land so long ago. Somebody stole us away. Down so low, nowhere to go. Planting cotton and sugar cane. Where's my 40 acres and the mule? 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 First Nations people, my kinfolk say, show them which way to go. Brightest star, guide the way. Wise men long ago, somebody moaned, where's my 40 acres and a mule? Where's my 40 acres and a mule? Where's my...
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to Turtle Island News with Tracy Kennedy. It is August 7th, 2013, Wednesday. I have to say hi to everybody who's listening today on flagshipradio.com, turtleislandnews.info, No Borders Radio, and give a special shout out today to Organic Sulfur for Health, that's the number 4 in health, who will be having a discount for us in the next couple days, so I'll keep that open. We have a problem, guys, that I can't stress enough. TEPCO has come out and said they realize now this is extremely serious. They're unable to control the radioactive water that is seeping out of the plant. And it's seeping out at a rate of 400 tons of highly radioactive water emptying into the Pacific each day. This is a crisis. This nuclear event that's going on, this potential ELE event, I would say at this point that we have lost Japan. Why we still have people there, I don't know. This highly radioactive water, I don't know. Boil till it evaporates was one of their plans, but it's being dumped for 100 tons a day. When the BBC came out with a report on the 5th, calling it an emergency, of course, the headline at a subscriber, only kind of UK Times, is also worthy, calling it lethal threat from radioactive water flowing into the sea from the crippled Fukushima plant. I wonder so much if this is an extinction level event. You know, I've been calling that for a long time. I've been thinking it's finished. Scientists have been breezily trying to claim that it will not affect the rest of the world, but they're lying. They're lying. I have a report that was sent in late last night, and I'll just read it to you. I have been following the Fukushima potential disaster from all over the world, E&E News, and the Daily News Fukushima Times. We have that one on the page. We keep trying to convey the seriousness of this catastrophe to everyone, especially people in my circle and friends and whoever else's attention I can grab, but few seem to grasp the severity. I knew that whatever is manufactured or grown in Japan will become more and more contaminated as the moments tick by. I live in Hawaii and have a gut feeling that the soles of the Japanese tourist shoes are highly contaminated, spreading radioactive isotopes in aircraft, buses, taxis, hotels, restaurants, every tourist attraction that we have to offer. Now again, he's from Hawaii, so they're coming over there. And everyone who's visiting there is carrying that out with them. If this contamination were like stepping in bright yellow wet paint, it would blow your mind to see how much of this has spread everywhere worldwide, bringing a new meaning to the yellow brick road. And the reference to the yellow brick roads is, well, clever anyway. Very strangely, yesterday too, I received an email from another long-term reader and follower. I don't think she will be sharing some of her email, which made me think of Fukushima straight away. Anyway, she says, I'm here in Maryland, USA, navigating this life as best I can. I've continued to observe the changes that are happening right before our very eyes. Something miraculous, yet subtle, is happening right in our presence, and most of us can't seem to see it. Yet more and more people are aware that something is going on. I've observed changes in the sky and atmosphere for many years now. The anomalies, the aircraft, and now train and other vehicle malfunctions are no surprise to me. The changes in animal intelligence, lifting the veil, and erratic human behavior are no longer a surprise. But surprises do continue. This summer, I have noticed some of the largest insects I've ever seen in my life. And I've heard no one else even mention it. I've seen common insects that come out every summer here in Maryland that are 3 or 4 or sometimes larger than their normal size. I've seen beautiful butterflies the size of small birds, dragonflies that I suspected of being small drones, huge bees, and today on my patio I saw the largest fly I've ever seen in my life. It was almost shocking. It had to be almost the size of the palm of my hand, but I didn't get too close. There has to be some type of mutation going on. As you've noted in your work many times, I just want to share my observation. I'd like to say giganticism is a symptom of low-level radiation contamination in both humans, animals, fish. Lots of relevant information that we've talked about before, but from a radiation biologist who said trees were gigantic after Chernobyl. They had an event called the Witch's Broom, and Japanese scientists are overwhelmed with truly unusual deformities at Fukushima in those areas right now. Forests are actually evolving into entirely different ecosystems. There is a sudden, very, very large change. And this is seeping all over the planet now. It's not just in one place. And it's here as well. It's already reached us on the West Coast, for sure. On the west coast of North America, the Great Turtle Island. When we look at these tons of highly contaminated water that is just being dumped, and at first they were just burning these things. Yeah, Dolly said in the room that her salamanders were very huge lately, and we've been talking about this, like strange animal events. And do you remember there was bees that were huge, and then mosquitoes that were huge last year, and rats that were the size of dogs. These things are threatening us. Even more U.S. tuna is contaminated. Unfortunately, Canada isn't coming out and telling us the exact numbers. Entire food web right now, including humans, may be affected as these radionucleotides spread all over the world. With this current state of affairs, I think it's at least reasonable enough to expect and prepare. Hope for the best, of course. Take what comes, because, we can't stop it. It is with this state of mind here, I'm setting out to review the available literature about accessible and alternative therapies that are made in case of nuclear disasters, as well as data about the Chernobyl catastrophe. What I found was shocking enough, but that there is also some very well documented essential knowledge that can protect you and your loved ones for what is already hitting us. This will be on turtleislandnews.info forever. You don't have to write it down. You can copy it. Feel free. The article that I have here includes an overview of the publication of Chernobyl, Consequences of the Catastrophe for the People and the Environment, which appeared in the Annals of the New York Academy. This was 2009. And it was made by scientists from all over the world. It brings together information from thousands of cited scientific papers and other materials, including successful and widely available natural therapies that worked. This is not skyhook kind of fantasy things. These are real things that will actually help you and that you should be doing now if you're not already. There's also numerous studies about alternative effective therapies in the case of radiation. I think it's going to give you a really clear idea of what to expect and what you can do. And if you're still waiting for the disaster in Japan, that's okay. But I think when I hear scientists refer to this as an ELE event, LE, life extinction event, I take that seriously. I think it matters that concerns all of us. There's no country in the world is capable of providing complete protection from radiation for those living in affected areas and eating locally grown foods that are now worldwide contaminated with radiation. So, let's take it from here, a lesson from history, or what to expect. Chernobyl catastrophe. We have to only look as far back as Chernobyl to understand why we are having so many conflicting reports and so little information of what is happening in Japan. I am still not hearing it other than a couple words here and there on television. Everyone should be stopping what they're doing right now. The last days of spring, beginning the summer of 1986, radioactivity was released from Chernobyl power plant, fell onto hundreds of millions of people. The resulting levels of radionucleotides were hundreds of times higher than that from the Hiroshima atomic bomb. The normal lives of tens of millions were destroyed. Today, more than 6 million people live on land, dangerous levels of contamination still. More than 20 years after that catastrophe, due to the natural migration of nucleotides, the dangerous consequences in these areas have not decreased at all, but have actually increased and will continue to do so for many years to come. Authorities typically provided the least